This is probably like 6 years ago now, right?
Yes.
6 years ago.
It was the fall of 2006.
Yes. Basically, what happened was almost 7 years. But what happened was we were both playing like solo shows together. A lot of like sort of acoustic shows down at like Savoir Cafe, Bitter End, old CBGBs, like stuff like that. And we'd play a lot of shows together. And we both sort of were interested in breaking out of that shell. So we sort of decided, let's go up to my parents' house for a weekend and record. So we'd never written together. So we sort of took it as like a dare. We have 48 hours. We can't play any acoustic guitars, and let's see what happens. And what we came out of the weekend with was an EP called The Adventures of Mr. Pumpernickel and the Girl with Animals in Her Throat. So essentially, on the train ride up, we came up with a list of titles and like kind of a basic short story idea. But at the end of the weekend, we ended up having this EP that ended up getting passed around, and eventually through that, it got in the hands of the guys who run Cantora Records, and basically got a record deal from that first weekend, which was kind of bizarre because it was like...
Yeah, then we were like, we should probably play a show or find some band members, you know. So it was a very cool way to start a band.
There was no one around to find us. The water held my feet.
Just like a week ago got back from our first national tour. So and even before that in April we were out for 3 weeks. So we've really, in the last 3 months, we've been on the road majority of the time.
One of the most memorable experiences was this past weekend at a festival in Cincinnati with like 105-degree heat and direct sunlight on us during our set, and many pieces of equipment died. That's probably the most shocking.
Yeah. It was so fun because it was really our first American music festival. We played a couple in the UK, and so the experience of it all was just incredible. It was like on the river in Cincinnati. It's like a brand new. I think this is the second year they've had the festival, Bunbury, but it was comically hot. So I think everyone was sort of in it together. Like the audience understood. Like everyone's fanning themselves.
They were as drenched as.
And then we had a guitar amp that just melted, stopped working. Some speakers that stopped working. And we just kept going. It was fun. And then also, this last tour we were on was the first time we played on the West Coast. So it was pretty amazing to play in, visiting new cities where, people will come up to us after the show and be like, we've been waiting for you to come for years. And it's like, it's such an amazing feeling because we don't know, It's like on Facebook, we're like, oh, we have fans places. But then when you meet them and they come up and they are, you see someone in the front row singing your lyrics to a song that you wrote 5 years ago, and you're just like, it's, I don't know if I'll, ever get used to it, but it's amazing.
We came together. We create that I ever did see.
When
It's not
Paul,
that embarrassing. Or
no,
anything,
but
it's
when
just
Paul,
funny.
you can always tell when Paul gets a little anxious about a situation or nervous or has to deal with something. Oh, this probably happened when your guitar was out of
I'm
tune
sure it
before,
happened.
but he gets a rash, a
Right
red
here.
rash that climbs
here.
up his chest and up his neck, and it just like, it's like
That's it.
flames coming out of his shirt.
Instantly, it's
No,
like-
it stops. It stops
stops right
here.
here.
But it's like, he can never, people who know him well, like myself, can always tell when there's an issue or
Tell when I'm like really
it's a dead
stressed.
giveaway. Dead
It's just
giveaway.
like,
What about me?
you?
Yeah.
Deidre can't take naps. She doesn't like taking naps.
True.
That's very specific, but
Yep. I can't do it.
that and
I feel worse than before the nap.
she has an amazing skill at. Where do you think I'm gonna go with
I
this?
have no idea.
Her skill at Whole Foods to craft a meal at the salad bars, it's unbelievable. She will literally have like a little bite of 9 different things, and the total, like, it'll be like a $4 meal, and but it's amazing. It's like a work of art, your plate. Whereas I just
you.
pile. I'm like, oh, I like that. I'll
Paul
put
needs
watermelon on
3
top of
containers.
barbecue.
Yep.
But yeah, so those are two
Thank
things,
you.